So this is the tutorial on how to do the buttonholes for the Karika Cowl pocket. Now, according to the instructions on the pattern, you're going to mark the stitch where the buttonhole, the first buttonhole is going to start. For the demonstration, I've only done 20 stitches and I'm only going to do one buttonhole, and it's going to be a 4-stitch buttonhole for the purpose of your tutorial, but you'll be able to adapt this pretty easily. So there's 2 stitches on each side. That is garter stitch border. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to work the herringbone stitch right up until the buttonhole. Okay, so you can see here, I'm coming up on that marked stitch at the beginning of the buttonhole. So we're gonna consider this as to be a stitch marker, as if you were working the border stitches. So you've already worked into that once, but you're going to do a knit stitch. So you've worked all the stitches up until your marked stitch. So we're going to do a 4-stitch buttonhole. So that way 4 is going to be the value of X, and you'll see why that's important later. You're going to move the yarn to the front. You're going to slip the first stitch, and you're going to move the yarn to the back. Now, you're going to slip a stitch, pass 1 stitch over. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. Now you're going to put this last stitch worked back on the left needle. You're going to turn your work. You remember I told you the value of X was 4, that you were working a 4-stitch buttonhole. So now you want to cast on X plus 2 stitches. So 4 plus 2 stitches are 6. You're going to cast on using the cable cast on method. That'll give you a nice firm buttonhole. So 1, that's 5, okay, that's this right here, that's 6, okay. I want you to note here, you see this gap? This is from where we wrapped the yarn around just before you slip the first stitch. Don't worry about this, we're going to fix this on the next row. It's supposed to be like that. So you've cast on 6 stitches, you're going to turn your work again. You can move your yarn to the back. You're going to slip the first stitch here back onto your right needle, and you're going to take the last cast on stitch and you're going to pull it over that. That's going to give you a nice tight little edge here to your buttonhole. And when you cast on those 2 extra stitches, when you cast on the 6 stitches, 2 were extra for the 4, you've just gotten rid of 1 here. So what you're going to do is you're going to twist the first stitch as if you're working herringbone again, because in fact you are. And you're going to either work to the next buttonhole or you're going to finish the row. So for now, what you're going to do is you're going to do a regular purl row for the herringbone stitch up until you get to 1 stitch before the gap. Okay, so you can see we're getting pretty close to the gap here. So you're going to continue on working the 2nd row of the herring stitch bone pattern, where you're purling 2 together and dropping 1 stitch off. Okay, so there's the gap. You're going to purl 2. You're going to drop the 1 stitch off. Okay, so you've got 1 stitch and you've got the gap. What you're going to do is you're going to purl 3 together. And as you can probably guess at this point, you're going to drop 2 of them off. You're going to be left with the 1, and you're going to continue to finish off the row in the normal fashion. For any questions, feel free to contact me at knitandnatrixdesigns@gmail.com or knitandnatrixdesign on Ravelry.com.